In almost every well-performing team, there's about one player who gets all the credit and overshadows most of the players, especially in Real Madrid. For many years, we've had the Cristiano Ronaldos, the Benzemas, who overshadowed most of the team because they were just exceptional. So we're going to be looking at the most underrated players from 2014 to 2024. These are the players that had amazing seasons, but just did not get the credit as they deserved, in my opinion. We're starting off with 2014. 2014's one has to be Angel Di Maria. So when I say Angel Di Maria, this guy was the ultimate big game player. He contributed in the Copa del Rey final. He contributed in the Champions League final. He contributed in big games against Barcelona. And to this day, actually, it's insane how much of a big game player he is. Scoring in the World Cup finals, scoring in Copa America finals. For each team, this guy always shows up. I don't know what it is about him, but he just has that DNA. But why he was so underrated, this guy was amazing in the midfield. He was a midfielder who would play in attack sometimes. Him on that left side was so dangerous. But Di Maria for 2014, most underrated player. For 2015, so this one is actually a lone player. He came on loan from Manchester United, Javier Hernandez, aka Chicharito. So he was an outstanding player. He didn't get that much game time due to Benzema playing, but when Benzema was injured, that's when we saw Hernandez shine. And I will always reference his great performances, obviously, but one of his best performances was against Atletico, in which it was a stalemate, 0-0 in almost every single match. He broke the deadlock in the quarterfinals, helped Real Madrid to knock out Atletico. So, no doubt for most underrated player 2015, it's Javier Hernandez. 2016's one might come as a surprise to you, but I'm going with Lucas Vazquez. Why am I going with Lucas Vazquez? Because he was a right winger back in the day. He was signed by Rafa Benitez. He made his debut against Espanyol, which was his former club. When he played, my goodness, this guy. His skill was amazing. He grabbed 2 assists on his debut. That alone tells you where he's at. When Zidane came in, Zidane gave him a more prominent role. Zidane played him a lot during the time in which Gareth Bale was injured. He could have played anyone else. He could have played Isco, he could have played James Rodriguez. But no, he played Vazquez. And for a while there was this trio, Benzema, Ronaldo, Vazquez. And Vazquez was putting in one hell of a shift. He even had one of the coldest moments in which he scored a penalty against Jan Oblak in the Champions League final. And I'm going to say he's the most underrated player for 2016. 2017, I mean, full of star players. And if you're going with FIFA ratings, all these players in the team were above 90 overall. It's insane. Okay, I'm just joking with that. Obviously, they were at 90 overalls. But I'm going with Alvaro Morata. This one is a more obvious one. He was outstanding and he was a bench player. And I genuinely think Zidane got headaches of who he should start, Benzema or Morata. Benzema was our starter. When Morata got put on, he was always scoring, coming off from the bench, and he had an outstanding season. But it will go under the radar due to him not playing for Real Madrid anymore. So people don't like to give him his praises and fair share of praises. So 2017, Alvaro Morata. Change the scenery, but to me, Benzema, why he was so underrated? Because the goals he was scoring in the biggest games. He scored against Bayern Munich, he scored in the Champions League final. Benzema was a big game player, although his tally doesn't do injustice. It absolutely does injustice to his name. People always remember him for having about 20 goals for that season. Poor for a striker. But to me, Benzema for 2018, most underrated player. 2019, this was a prospect, but Vinicius Junior had no right to be one of the best players for Real Madrid. Although his finishing was poor, if you had to put current Vinicius finishing with 2019 Vinicius, he would have been one of the best, genuinely, because his dribbling was next level. He just couldn't finish and pass. That was his only weakness. But the way he broke into the squad for his progressive runs and all those different things. But being 18 years old and doing the things he did, he was just insane. So I'm going to put him at most underrated for 2019. Because in that season we also had it was just such a bad season. So therefore, A young Vinicius, a 18-year-old Vinicius, goes as most underrated player for 2018. For 2020, it's Federico Valverde. So why am I saying Federico Valverde? Because this was when Zidane came in. Zidane came back. Zidane was playing Fede a lot and was using him a lot because he's one of Zidane's favorites. What sold to me Fede as the most underrated player, and he deserves more appreciation. He single-handedly won us the Spanish Super Cup. If you don't remember, against Atletico Madrid, he stepped up. Morata was in the clear to score in the extra time. Valverde put it all on the line. He went in for a red card challenge, got a straight red card. The heat this guy got on Twitter, on the internet, everywhere was insanity. And to me, this is a career-defining moment for him. This showed his passion. Valverde, most underrated for 2020. 2021, this one belongs to Ferland Mendy. So why I say Ferland Mendy? This was Marcelo's fall of season. Because this was when Marcelo's age started to show. Marcelo was getting fatter. I'm not going to go into Marcelo. But Mendy, he stepped up. This cemented him as our starting left back. And there was no return. This guy was insane. Scoring goals on his left foot and right foot. Being solid defensively. And I would say that was one of the best versions of Mendy I've ever seen. And I'm going to put Mendy as most underrated player for 2021. For 2022, 2022, all the attention was on Benzema, Vinicius Junior. People overlooked how good Rodrygo was because he had an insane season. Ultimate big game player, ultimately saved us and won us the Champions League. In my opinion, he was one of the most important players. His off the ball runs is insane. You can see it in the Chelsea match when he stepped up from a Modric. Amazing pass from Modric. Rodrygo catches it because he made such a good run. Then you go to the Man City match in which he scored 2 goals. He could have scored a hat-trick in 4 minutes. It's that insane. Rodrygo is just next level. And I'm going to put him as most underrated for 2022. 2023 is a more interesting one. This one is Marco Asensio. Why do I put him there? He had a rough start to the season. Ancelotti was not giving this guy game time. And there were a lot of rumors circulating that he would leave. He did not leave. He then decided to stay. To his luck, he actually had a good season. Although he was down the pecking order, Rodrygo was above him in the pecking order. Whenever he got game time, scoring non-stop bangers and scoring in matches, to me was underrated because his work was so underappreciated. You don't even hear people speak about it. Asensio was on a different level in 2023. But then he left, so now no one's speaking about it. Last but not least, Dani Carvajal in the current year of 2024. Why do I say Carvajal? Because if you remember, the previous season, he was washed up, terrible. People were saying this guy's finished. And to me, I said he's finished. Then the gluten-free diet and all that stuff. I don't know if he's still on it. Okay, he probably is still on it. But ever since that, the guy's been getting injured less. And he was just on a whole nother level. I'm talking about this is probably prime Carvajal. He's been scoring a lot of goals. I think this season is his highest scoring tally of his career. Genuinely. For a right back. He's outstanding in attack. He will do the job defensively. He's one of the best right backs in the world. But due to Vinny, Bellingham, Rodrygo stealing the spotlight, Carvajal is one of those players that's gonna go underrated. But he cemented his spot as right back. And I think he should stay for next season and the following season. But that's it for now. Leave your thoughts. That's my underrated list. But if you enjoyed, smash like, subscribe. Peace.